Let's look at how we can use CloudPoint to protect our SQL servers running on the public cloud such as Azure. Before this section, I have already configured my hosts with the right credentials. So I have interested in AZ machine. In this, I have already configured the right agent which has allowed us to discover all the underlying file systems. Now, after that discovery is in place, I go to my host and then continue to configure the database in which we want to protect. So I go to configure screen and select SQL database. CloudPoint auto discovers all the parameters and all the underlying databases. I just say save over here. And then if I go back to my dashboard, CloudPoint is now running a discovery job, which will discover all the underlying databases for the SQL server that is running on that node. Once the discovery is complete, we can take a snapshot of the underlying databases. On an ongoing basis, you would configure a protection policy and apply the protection policy to these discovered databases. For now, I'm taking a manual snapshot to emulate the same level of protection. So I select the database of interest, which is Azure AdventureWorks, and then say create a snapshot. I say adventure. I choose host level, say snap, save. That in turn kicks off a snapshot job. Once the snapshot is available, the snapshot is listed under the database that it was used as a source of the snapshot, and you can view the snapshot under that particular database. Now let's look at how we can recover using this database. For that, let's simulate a corruption or data loss scenario. I'm switching over to my machine in which I have installed SQL Server Management Studio, using which I can look at the existing databases. So I have, as you can see, AdventureWorks and AdventureWorks Data Warehouse. In the AdventureWorks and AdventureWorks Data Warehouse, I go to AdventureWorks, I open up the tables. To simulate a data loss scenario, I delete one of the payment history tables. So I say delete and say OK. So that deletes the payment history table, and then maybe it deletes the department history table as well. Now that the tables are lost, we need to recover from this. So what I go is go back to my snapshot, select the snapshot and say restore. When I say restore, I restore to a new location, and in this case I choose I can restore to a new location. I can restore to original location as well. Let's say restore to original location. This reverse the snapshot under the resource group. Because the snapshot was created under a host, it will spin up an entire new VM. So let's give a name for this restore job and say original location is restore. When I launch the job from Azure and I go back to my dashboard, I can now see that this restore job has been launched. This in turn is creating a VM in the Azure environment. Once the restore job is complete, we can see that the restore job is finished from the task log, as well as the number of hosts went up from 10 to 11, which means a new VM has been launched in Azure portal, and we can go to Azure portal and see which new VM has been launched. So if I look at my list of VMs here, I do a refresh in my environment and I get the IP address of the machine. So that's my IP address. I go back to my original SQL Server Management Studio. In this, I say connect and I say TCP say connect. This is now connected to the new database, which has all the tables that we lost. employee pay history and the department history. These two tables can now be copied over to the original AdventureWorks diagram. So now I can recover